Peter, can you speak to us? Kristen, you can unmute your mic and yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can.
Wonderful.
Peter, are you with us? Okay, as we wait for Shiri and Hope to join, there is some assignment, Mutes, that you have not presented. I think it's item you do. If you have it there on your computer about warm booting, the one you sent on the, was it on the email? Yes, about that. So we presented that with Hope last time. Yeah, you sent it to me, but I want us to go through it together so you can display it on the you can screen share. We'll go through it together and then we'll see what we can do next. Thank you. Yes, Hope, it's that assignment. Yeah, it's the one you can go through it. You can unmute the mic and then yeah, discuss. Then I will comment on the presentation after. Do I read out loud? Yeah, you can read. You can read for us what you have on the screen. Unmute the mic and then read for us what you have. You can as well go on to give us a brief explanation on each point. Yeah.
Okay. New hardware, software, or drive may be installed and needs a reboot. A system setting has been changed and it requires a reboot. An update has been installed and requires a reboot. Computer or software program is frozen. To refresh the system, to increase processing and speed and system performance, to clear memory of any malware, to fix the internet connection, to stop memory leaks which occur when programs don't close properly. Reboots are known to keep computers running quickly. Now, when you reboot your computer, you're refreshing it, which makes it easier to process new information, which is why it's good to reboot it when you've installed new hardware or software. And after you reboot, it's easier to reset your system. Yeah, who wants to say anything else?
Okay, thank you for this presentation, Mutes. Now, a few comments about this. The content is correct. Thanks for that. And maybe can you briefly go to the first slide? I see what you indicated there. Okay, this is nice. I wanted to tell you that you should always put either a footer or an introduction introducing yourself by name. Yeah, because you might send many assignments and I get confused who sent which. So by Mutes Christine, this is nice. Maybe what you can include in the presentation is first of all, when you look at PowerPoint, a good presentation should not be congested. Yeah, maybe what you check on is that, because when you look on your second slide, can you go to the second slide? Yeah, the points are somehow congested. Yeah, you would actually come up with at least 3 slides. Yeah, one for the introduction, then for the points, you could divide these points and set them in 2 slides. Then the other quality of a good presentation is it should be attractive to those people that you're presenting to. So you will need to add some designs in the presentation and some animations and transitions. I hope you know where to get all these things, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so in other presentations, yeah, you make sure that you work on those comments as well. Otherwise, the presentation, the content is okay and right. Thank you. Now, are you logged into the site? I wanted us to go through something about system configuration.
You mean the Yaaka site?
Yes.
Oh, the computer I'm using can't access the Yaaka site. My dad's using.
Okay. Okay, you can stop sharing. I share my set here. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let me first share the assignment we are going through before sharing the site. Okay, can you please read this part 1?
Part 1. Use any
Yeah.
software of your choice to explain these terminologies. System configuration, computer system unit, computer system, internal computer components, and list the examples of internal components.
Okay, thank you. Before we go to the site, do you have any idea about any of these terminologies? We share what we know of it, then we see what we have on the site after.
Yes, I'm familiar with the computer system unit and the computer system, but not so much everything else.
Okay, you can please talk about what you're familiar with.
Okay, there are two types of computer systems. The application system and the is it operating system, I think.
You can go on.
Correct. It's application and operating system.
Then the computer system unit.
I can't really remember much about that part.
Okay. Briefly, when we talk of system configuration, first to comment on what you've said about computer system, the application and then the operating. Now, application, I think you just got confused over computer system and computer software, because it is under computer software when we look at the two major types of computer software, where we have application software and the actual system software. The operating system or software is under the system software. So when we look at what we call system configuration or computer configuration or configuring a computer, we mean rearranging or putting everything together in line. This includes the computer hardware and the software programs. So that process of arranging the computer hardware components and the software programs to ease the computer user on how to operate the computer is what we call system configuration. You're setting everything in line in their proper positions to make sure that the user of the computer is able to use that computer without any difficulty. That is about configuration. You just set everything in their position to make sure that the user finds it easy to use that computer. Then what we call the computer system unit is actually at times called the system case. It is a rectangular box. You've come across the desktop computers, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, there is that rectangular box that includes some internal components of the computer. It is what we call the computer system unit or the system case. Its purpose is to protect the internal parts of the computer or the internal hardware components. Then when we look at the internal computer components, from the word internal computer components, you're able to know that these are computer components that are internal, that are found inside the computer, and this is inside the computer system unit. So whatever that is found inside the computer system unit is called the internal computer component. Those hardware devices that are found inside the system unit are what we call the internal computer components. Then if they ask you to list the examples of internal components, there are very many. RAM is found inside the system unit. We have what we call the fan, the heat sink, the motherboard, and so many others. So I'm stopping sharing this activity so that we can go through what we have on the site concerning this activity, right? Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Now I've briefly talked about these terminologies. Now I request you to read from for us what you see about system configuration, computer system unit. Yeah. Then internal components and the examples, because it is what is all in the activity.
Okay. System configuration refers to setting hardware and software of a computer appropriately to allow a user to perform his tasks. A computer system refers to a series of hardware, software, data, users, and procedures. Computer system unit refers to a housing that protects all internal components of a computer. System startup is a process of turning on a computer for use. Internal components refer to all hardware components that reside in the system case. These include hard drive, heatsink, power supply unit, graphics card, network interface card, RAM chip, motherboard, CPU, ROM chips, CPU and system fans, CD/DVD drive, CMOS battery, ports.
Okay, thank you. What I had forgotten to talk about is the computer system. Computer system, as you saw on the screen, it is just a series of hardware. The computer system is a comparison, is a collection of hardware, software, data, users, and procedures. So if they ask you for the categories or components of computer system, a computer system should have hardware devices. It should consist software. It should also include data, the user, the person who is going to use the computer, and then the procedures that are taken as you're using the computer. Then the startup, that is process of turning on the computer for use. You want to use your computer, that process you take to turn on your computer is what we call the system startup. And then the internal components, they are the hardware devices that reside inside the system case or inside the computer system unit. So basically, we can look at these examples of internal components and how they look like. Let me see if I can get here the image that includes some examples. So if you look at what we have on the screen, there is actually this, I think this one is clear. So the middle part of this is what we call the system unit, or the computer system unit, or the system case. This rectangular box, and everything around this box is found actually inside the box. So all these devices that are surrounding this system unit are basically found inside the system unit, and they are called internal components of the computer. So these are some of the examples. This is a system fan. We have what we call a floppy, a heat sink. This is a hard drive, optical drive, RAM chips or RAM modules. We have what we call processors, motherboard, and power supply. So what you're seeing are the examples, are some of the examples of the internal components, internal hardware devices. These are devices that are found inside the system case. Yeah, basically, that's it. Do you have any question?
No.
Okay. have you been able to acquire to cover each of the questions we've discussed about the system configuration thing?
Are you talking to me or Hope?
No, Hope.
Okay.
Hope, can you hear us? Okay, I've seen from the chat. Okay, let us know, because Christine has no question about what we've covered. Hope, let us know if you have any inquiry or any question. You put it forward so that we tackle it out before we end this engagement today. Oh, okay, Hope. What we've covered first, Mutes presented the work about reasons for warm booting, and secondly, we looked at some activity that was asking for the terminologies. That is system configuration, computer system unit, and then we also talked about the internal components of the computer. So basically that is what we've been discussing, talking about today. Their definitions and then the examples of the internal components of the computer. So you can let us know what you found us discussing, then we get to know what you missed out, so that we can help you out before we end this. No teacher, what do you mean? You can clarify. I'm going to do the assignment. Okay, fine. It's okay. So you make sure that you submit that assignment. Mutes, Mutes, are you able now to get the assignment from the WhatsApp, or I still need to use Gmail to send you work? Okay, Gmail. Okay, all right. I'm going to organize one and then send to you. I will send that same assignment on the WhatsApp for Hope and other members. You also attempt that assignment and then submit for marking. Okay, if there is no other inquiry, I beg to stop here. A good afternoon.